Today I am announcing that I am officially coming out with my shoe.
ESPN just dropped a major headline about Angel Reese's new Reebok deal, and the internet is absolutely buzzing with confusion and debate. Seriously, did that really just happen? Reese, widely known for her high-profile rivalry with Caitlin Clark, has reportedly secured a major partnership with a brand that's now sparking plenty of discussion about its direction and choices. And of course, people are already bringing up her most talked-about moments, her intense on-court competitiveness, the heated exchanges during games, and the ongoing criticism and controversy that tends to follow her every move on and off the court.
So guys, I am extremely excited to confirm and let you guys know we are officially coming out with the Reebok by Angel signature shoe. We have already kicked off the design process and I can't wait to share with you guys. It will be for men and women.
And Reebok's decision to bring in Angel Reese for a comeback campaign is already raising eyebrows. It's a bold move, but one that a lot of people are questioning. Many are even wondering who the actual target audience is and whether there's enough demand behind her brand to justify such a high-profile deal. Some critics argue that Reebok could have gone in a completely different direction with their marketing strategy, suggesting the partnership feels more like a gamble than a carefully calculated decision. Overall, the deal is sparking debate about Reebok's direction and what they're trying to achieve with this new push.
I want people to know the deals don't just stop in college. When you go to the pros, they continue, and I feel like they've even grown even more. Now that I'm a pro, I can do so much more.
The signing of Angel Reese with Reebok has turned into a full-blown talking point, and not necessarily for positive reasons. Rather than being seen as a feel-good comeback story, many are framing it as a risky branding decision that feels more reactive than strategic. Reebok, once a dominant force in the sportswear world but now competing to reclaim its position against giants like Nike and Adidas, is clearly betting big on visibility and attention. Critics, however, argue that the move raises questions about long-term value versus short-term hype, with doubts about whether this partnership can genuinely deliver on performance, popularity, and impact.
To be introduced to a shoe with performance, expressive, y'all know I'm unapologetic, it looks good, feels good, so that's the most important things, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys.
Reebok had already started trying to rebuild its basketball identity by bringing back legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson in October 2023, but now their first major modern push is reportedly centered around a campaign featuring Angel Reese. To critics, the move feels less like a carefully planned strategy and more like a desperate attempt to regain attention in a crowded market. Supporters of the criticism argue that Reese's appeal may be stronger on social media and branding-driven platforms, where personality and image matter as much as performance. However, they contrast that with the idea that basketball success ultimately depends on consistency, skill, and leadership at the highest level. They also point to the broader marketing landscape, noting how major sportswear giants like Nike and Adidas typically align with athletes who have established dominance and long-term impact. In that context, the debate centers on whether Reebok's bet is truly about on-court production or more about visibility and hype in today's media-driven sports culture.
Game on May 7th, she put up 13 points, 5 boards, and a couple of steals in just 19 minutes.
Speaking of the shoes, Reebok is now pushing its latest engine concept, and critics aren't impressed. The product is being marketed with high-tech buzzwords like energy return systems and nitrogen-infused foam, but some argue it sounds better in a press release than it does in real-world performance. In a highly competitive sneaker market, Nike is still widely seen as the benchmark for innovation and performance, which makes it harder for rival technologies to stand out or gain trust. There are also questions being raised about the design process itself, whether Angel Reese was genuinely involved in shaping the product or if her name was primarily used as a marketing face to boost visibility. Overall, the discussion reflects a broader skepticism about whether the shoe is truly a breakthrough or just another heavily branded release trying to break into an already crowded space.
Angel by Reebok drops Friday. Reebok by Angel, Angel by Reebok, whatever you want to call it, drops Friday. People are so weird.
The Reebok marketing team is positioning the Wnba as a major launch for spring 2025, presenting it as a potential breakthrough product in their basketball lineup. However, critics are questioning that optimism, suggesting that the hype around the shoe may be outpacing what it actually offers in terms of performance and real-world impact. They also argue that the success of the campaign is heavily tied to Angel Reese as its main face, raising questions about which audiences Reebok is aiming to reach and how effective that strategy will be in a competitive sneaker market. At the same time, Reese's growing presence in fashion and media, through appearances like the Met Gala and partnerships with brands such as Beats by Dre and Good American, is being viewed by some as evidence of strong off-court branding power. Still, others contrast that with the expectations placed on on-court performance, often comparing her trajectory with players like Caitlin Clark, who is frequently highlighted for letting her game define her public profile. Overall, the debate centers on whether Reebok's strategy is a smart long-term investment in personality-driven marketing or a risky bet in a highly competitive sportswear industry. Reebok's decision to align itself with Angel Reese is being heavily debated when viewed in the broader sports and marketing landscape. On one side, Caitlin Clark is often highlighted for her record-breaking performances, rising influence in women's basketball, and major endorsement deals with some of the most established names in sports marketing. By contrast, critics argue that Reese's visibility is driven more by branding, social media presence, and off-court campaigns than by dominance on the court, leading to comparisons that question whether the partnership reflects athletic excellence or pure marketability. They point to her appearances in campaigns and collaborations with brands such as Beats by Dre and Good American, as well as her personal branding efforts, as evidence of a strong media-driven profile. Still, skeptics claim that this type of fame is more about image building and marketing strategy than pure basketball achievement, especially when compared to athletes whose reputations are primarily defined by their in-game performance. Overall, the discussion reflects a larger debate about modern sports marketing, where personality, media presence, and athletic performance increasingly intersect. The conversation around Angel Reese's impact on the WNBA remains highly debated, with opinions divided on how her influence should be measured. Some argue that her overall effect on the league is still being evaluated, pointing to the idea that her identity spans both her athletic career and her broader media persona. Her brand presence, built through social media, fashion moments, and endorsement visibility, has clearly helped her connect with a large audience and sell merchandise, even if critics question how much of that translates directly to on-court impact. Others draw a contrast with Caitlin Clark, emphasizing her statistical performance and in-game production as the primary driver of her influence and popularity. From this perspective, Clark is often described as an athlete whose performance naturally shapes her public image, with her gameplay serving as the foundation of her reputation rather than external branding efforts. Ultimately, the discussion highlights a broader tension in modern sports culture between athletic performance, personal branding, and media-driven popularity. Reebok's attempt to lean on its 90s legacy and push products like the Energy Return System sneakers feels outdated in today's basketball market, where Nike and Adidas dominate with modern innovation. Critics argue that pairing this retro-focused strategy with Angel Reese does little to elevate the brand, especially for younger fans who prioritize performance and cutting-edge design over nostalgia. In contrast, Caitlin Clark is often portrayed as the face of the sport's future, backed by major partnerships that emphasize elite performance and global appeal. From this viewpoint, Reese's Reebok deal is seen less as a breakthrough and more as a fallback move driven by the brand's struggle to stay relevant.